Chris Christie is saying now, he wants to track all of the illegal aliens that come into this country, and he wants to put like RFID. Who knows how he wants to do it? But
Right.
he's talking about, and that's the incremental step that's required.
Right, exactly. First is for illegal aliens, then it's for criminals in prison. Well, and then it's going to be for juveniles, and then then the elderly. Oh, and then everybody. So pretty soon everybody's being tracked by the government with RFID tracking chips, and that's the ultimate goal. That's what they want. They want to control how you spend your money and who you spend it with, and then they want to control your movement and which ways you could go. That's why they want to have driverless cars. So that's all ways, you could make the United States a case that it will soon be a giant FEMA camp with the driverless cars and the cashless society and the RFID tracking that they want to implement.
That's absolutely true. I mean, prison planet, I mean, that's exactly what we're moving towards. And in the United States, it's terrifying to consider that prospect in the land of the free, but it's programs like yours that are making a difference, and the life and work of William Lewis that made a difference and is going to continue to make a difference.
Totally agree, and that's why we have to continue doing what we're doing out there. We're going to go to break, but check out nextnewsnetwork.com. If you're up in the Chicago area, we're down here in Austin, Texas. Everybody's got to do their part to jump in. I encourage you to go check out some of William Lewis's documentaries, and we're going to be right back. We're going to take a look at some war on drugs news, because there's some very interesting information that's out there now. And then we're also going to look at Mark Dice's video about how they captured the Loch Ness Monster and people's public reaction to that.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force, the knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. For a limited time, get 25% off on this introductory offer. Visit ancientdefense.com or call 888-253-3139. ancientdefense.com.
Welcome back to our final segment of the InfoWars Nightly News. Now, before we get to Mark Dice quizzing people on the finding and capturing of Nessie, the infamous Loch Ness Monster, I want to go over some marijuana news. This is from the antimedia.org, and the headline reads, "Cocaine production plummets after DEA kicked out of Bolivia." There you go. Truth is stranger than fiction. According to data released by the United Nations, cocaine production in the country declined by 11% in the past year, marking the 4th year in a row of steady decrease. It was just 7 years ago that the DEA left Bolivia, and only 3 years after that, progress was finally made. The strategy employed by the Bolivian government may be a surprise to many prohibitionists because it did not involve strong-arm police-state tactics. Instead, they worked to find alternative crops for farmers to grow that would actually make them more money. And that is the whole key to this whole drug war. When you disincentivize it instead of going after the end user, and you disincentivize the producer of it, you can actually gain ground on this. But let's look at Afghanistan. Here's an article from NBC. As heroin use grows in U.S., poppy crops thrive in Afghanistan. And this has been the same old song and dance that we've seen since the start of the Afghan war. That is basically the reason we're still in Afghanistan. That's the dirty little secret, is the fact that we've got pipelines now established. We protect the drug dealers. We help them get fertilizer and seeds to grow the poppies because this is how they make money. And they're not going to grow anything else that doesn't make money. So they're incentivized to grow more poppies to create more heroin. Then we bring it into the United States. We showed an article last week, like Vermont is one of the capitals. There's a city in Vermont, a real small town, that is one of the capitals of heroin use. That's a big problem. And then because we use so much heroin, now the Independent's reporting that Mexico is starting to grow more heroin to meet the demand in the U.S. And this just works out great with the DEA and others that are working in Mexico and other areas. They just work with the drug dealers. We've already shown you that, where some drug dealers like the Sinaloa cartel are protected, and they're protected so they get to do whatever they want as long as they rat out their buddies. So we go after their buddies because they're not protected. And that's how the whole drug game works. That is the problem with it. And it even gets worse. This is from freethoughtproject.com. SWAT team raids home, kills man over $2 worth of pot. Informant exposes police cover-up. A Florida family seeks justice after their son, Jason Westcott, was killed by members of a SWAT team during a drug raid on his house, which yielded a whopping $2 worth of marijuana. An internal investigation absolved officers of any wrongdoing, though police found only 0.02 grams of marijuana in Westcott's home. Westcott became a target of intense drug trafficking investigation after a confidential informant led investigators to believe that Westcott was a dealer as opposed to a casual cannabis smoker that he was in reality. The informant has since gone public and admitted that he was lying to police in the case. So here's the big problem, and that I think the reason we ought to make some laws that kind of curtail the use of informants, because informants are only after saving their own skin. And in saving their own skin, they'll turn in their mother and say she's a drug user or a drug dealer or whatever, and they'll make up all these wild stories to get SWAT teams and police looking in the other direction. It's a real problem, and this is something that I do think we need laws with. We need to curtail the use of informants, or if the informant ends up giving out wrong information, they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Or we need to protect informants so they aren't put in these situations. And that if they are, they have a way out of it. They have a way that they could say, wait a minute, I'm not going to give out false information to put people in prison. It's a big problem, and this is something that we do need to look at. But if we legalized the war on drugs or got rid of the war on drugs, you wouldn't have these problems. Now, going back to the article, on May 27, 2014, a Tampa police SWAT team raided Westcott and Reyes' home, killing Jason Westcott. Officers claimed they announced the warrant and proceeded to clear the house when they encountered an armed Westcott pointing a gun at police. Officers proceeded to fatally shoot him. And I think at the end of this article, the writer here really lays it out. Jay Sermopoulos, he says, the practice of trusting the word of individuals who have a vested interest in alleviating their own criminal charges is a practice that is contrary to the highest ideals of justice. And that is where I think, the whole war on drugs is a problem, is a sham, because it leads to false arrest, false imprisonment, and police confiscating property. That seems to be what their motive is in going after these people. Now, speaking of marijuana use, there's a bizarre cannabis vomiting syndrome that is going around. This is a Daily Mail article. Heavy users suffer from severe nausea, pain that can only be relieved by bathing in hot water several times a day. CHS, which stands for cannabinoid hypermensis syndrome, was first reported in medical literature in 10 patients in Australia in 2004. Recognition of the condition is increasing, and doctors are now recognizing the condition in patients regularly visiting hospitals with severe nausea. Doctors reported that a 42-year-old man presented on 8 occasions with vomiting, abdominal pain, fever, and dehydration in the East Midlands. That's in Australia. They found that the man had been a chronic cannabis smoker since the age of 14. After a series of investigations, they found symptoms ceased when the patient stopped smoking the drug. I think it's probably something like this. People are using nasty products to grow the biggest, most potent cannabis out there, marijuana strains, and it's that residue of all the different chemicals they're using. There's a lot that goes into this stuff to make it really potent. And I think people are smoking this stuff on a regular basis, and they're probably poisoning themselves. So as with everything, GMOs, everything, go green, go organic. That's the way to go. Now I want to end today's program with a look at what Mark Dice found when he went and asked people, about how they felt and should they free the Loch Ness Monster when he was captured. I think this exposes the whole stupidity in American society that people don't even realize that they're being fooled, that they're being gamed by the system. So we're going to end the show with Mark Dice.
Probably saw on the news that this morning the hunters did capture what they have called the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie.
Really?
And we're just asking people if they think Nessie should be set free. Is that really fair to keep her in captivity like this?
No, I think they should just let Nessie free. I mean, well, supposedly if they found her, like, that's messed up to keep an animal, like, captured.
Probably didn't check the news. It's
no,
really,
no.
It's like, I mean, there's occasionally the marine biologists will find these old animals that have thought to have been extinct, and so they did capture the Loch Ness Monster, 17-foot long Platysaurus, and a lot of people are saying that it's really unfair to keep Nessie in captivity. Do you think we should let her back into the wild?
Yeah, I think because it's like, you know, animal rights, like it's the same thing as humans, like let them be free, you know, because it's like not right, as I said, that to keep, you know, a special being, like a special animal, like keep and like show them off to people. It's like, no, let the animal be free and let, you know, other people enjoy the view and let it be in nature, basically. So
what's your reaction to the discovery and the capture?
I'm actually surprised because I didn't even know it because I'm not from here, so I never really watched the news, and I'm just surprised that they found Loch Ness Monster, but they should let
her go free.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we thought too.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Fred.
Confirmed authentic today, a Platysaurus dwelling deep within the waters of the loch.
Really?
Captured this morning.
Really?
Getting people's reactions to this historic find.
They should turn it loose and leave it alone.
Yeah, PETA is demanding that Nessie be set free immediately. You agree with their stance?
Yes. I mean, it's a wild animal, just like any other animal. There's probably another one out there.
His wife or her husband.
Or whatever,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny how man does things sometimes.
We're just ruining everything.
They see something they don't understand, and what do with it? They grab it, drag it away.
And put it in a zoo.
Yeah.
So we're gonna free Nessie. You agree?
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
On the news today that they actually, I'm sorry, I can't do this with a straight face. Well, we were going to try to tell you that they found the Loch Ness Monster to see what your reactions were, but I couldn't hold a straight face. So we're going to go talk to someone else. Thank you. So a lot of people are calling for Nessie's return into the wild.
Absolutely.
In Loch Ness. Do you think it's unfair to keep her in captivity after she was free all these years to roam?
And you can see the rest of that video at the Loch Ness Monster Found and Captured Alive on INFOWARS.com. That is our show for today. Please be sure you join us here every weekday, 7 p.m. Central for the INFOWARS Nightly News. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button there and become a subscriber to the Alex Jones channel. Or if you are already a subscriber and you want to really support us, become a member of PrisonPlanet.tv. It supports everything you see here, the lights, the cameras, all the action, sending the reporters to the different locations. It's our Prison Planet TV members that we really salute out there. So you can share your username and password with up to 20 people. That's 20 InfoWarriors for the price of one. Join us back here at 7 p.m. Central tomorrow with the InfoWars Nightly News.
Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for.
And that's the principle of InfoWars Life, as far as I understand, that you've always had, is that it's not about synthetic chemicals and forcing actions. It's about letting your body do its own thing and giving your body the tools it needs to create these different compounds that are super valuable and super beneficial.
You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the INFOWARS Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at INFOWARSnews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.